um, okay, so let's kind of dive into what we're going to be talking about here during the challenge. Obviously, this is day one, and we have done some warm-up sessions. So if you have seen my YouTube channel, you can check out those warm-up calls. Now, this call is going to be available for about 24 to 36 hours. So if you want to watch the replay, it'll be up for a little while, and then we're going to move on to some other sessions. Okay, so if you're watching my archive, just so you'll know, this session will be up for a little while, and then we'll move it on to another area. Okay, so we've been talking about this, and what we're doing in our business, our online business, is we're building the foundation during the next 30 days to reach 1,000 fans or buyers that'll pay us a minimum of $100 per year, right? That's really the framework for the core. I don't even want to call it a course for the challenge. And what we want to do is we want to put all the right things in place in order to find those people. And the reason we want to do that is if you think about it, 1,000 buyers that'll pay us $100 a year or $9 a month, that will bring us to $108 per year. And then that'll really bring us to the point where we can then start to do some of the things with our online business that will allow us to do things like go to some of the conferences that will develop us and allow us to do some of the things in terms of paying for advertising and sponsorships and the things that are going to really move us forward. So that is really what we're going to be doing here. And to be honest, it really does not matter what business you're in. So this doesn't have to be an online business. If you got a brick and mortar business, if you are a service provider, if you are a small business owner, you still, if you really look at this, we're going to be talking about, this framework will still help you, right? Because again, if you haven't done it, I really want to encourage you to read the article by Kevin Kelly at kk.org. So if you have time tonight, even if you don't have time tonight, read that article, right? That's at kk.org. It's the article called 1,000 Fans. It's a really short read, but it is fantastic. And I think it will really change all of our perspective on how we do, whether it's small business or local business or whatever it is that we're trying to do, so that we'll be able to then again, put context on what we're trying to do. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to just do an online business or any kind of business blindly, right? I want to make as much profit as I can. Well, that's cool, but it just will not focus us enough to do the things that are necessary and then at least take the extraneous things out of our business so that we get to that 1,000 fan level fast. So the framework is really going to help us. And really, when you look at the framework of trying to get 1,000 fans or buyers that will pay you a minimum of $100 a year, it really almost works with the 80-20 rule. So that if you have a number of customers that are there for you and they are repeatedly buying from you, you want to start building your business around those customers, and they're probably going to be 20% of your business, and you want to build around them because they are going to tell you what it is you should be producing. They're going to tell you what it is you should be putting before the rest of your crowd, right? Because you want that 20% to give you information about what's going on so that you can solve their problem, right? So really, the 1,000 fans, it isn't magic, right? It also moves right along with what the 80-20 rule, which a lot of us really have come to know and understand, whether or not it's been in work or part of our work life. Now, what we're also going to be doing is leveraging resale rights and PLR content to help us to attain this. And this is really going to help us, I think, to get to that point faster, because one of the things that I talked about in one of the calls that is going to be important is that you and I have to be consistent, right, in generating content. We have to be consistent, and we need to be probably on the front end of I would say, whatever our niche is, we want to at least be known as someone who continually has the right ideas and who has the content, who has the ideas, who has the thinking, right? And if I have to go someplace to find out something, I want to be, I want to be the person that you would actually go to find out about a certain subject. And we'll get into that here tonight. You want to be whatever your subject matter is, right? You want to be the person to find. You want to be the person to be listened to. And when we start talking about using phrases like being positioned as an expert, really the easy part is finding out what the niche is. The hard part is producing the content, right? So what we have to be willing to do is produce the content. And what's going to help us to be able to do that are some of the resale rights products and some of the PLR content. I'm going to be showing you how you're going to be using that in your business, okay, throughout the challenge. We're going to be talking about that. And then what we're going to be doing also is putting the assets in place to go beyond list building, because I talked about this on one of the calls. If our goal is just to get a gazillion people on our list and not the 1,000 people who will buy from us regardless of what we sell, then what's going to happen is we're going to have a hustle and not a business. And what I mean by a hustle is you do a bunch of stuff during January to get a bunch of sales and a bunch of customers. And because it's not, and because we're not running the business to take care of those customers, and because we're running the business to just build a list and to sell stuff, what happens is we're going to lose a lot of customers at the bottom of the funnel. So we got to go right back in February and fill the top of the funnel up again, right? And because and that's really what internet marketing in a lot of ways has become. Right, that is the prevailing philosophy, that if I fill the top of the funnel big enough, it doesn't matter who falls out the end. And what that does is that makes us make all the wrong decisions about internet marketing. It makes us make all the wrong decisions about who we promote in terms of affiliate products. It makes us make all the wrong decisions about what we produce. It makes us make all the wrong decisions about how to do webinars. And what I'm saying to you is that what you want to be thinking about as you build your list is not necessarily just only, right? Big as I can possibly get it, right? Mail as often as I can mail. That is a recipe to build a hustle that if anything happens, right? AWeber goes away, you know, your list starts to fall off, then what happens is your business is in jeopardy. And we don't want to have a business in jeopardy just based on an email marketing list. We want to have 1,000 people who are anxiously awaiting what we're putting out, right? Because if they'll spend $9 a month with us, that's going to bring us to that base of $108,000 a year just from our online business. And what that's going to do is that's going to free us up to then begin to invest in the things that will really take us to the point where we really want to be in our business, right? So again, we're going to be putting the assets to place to go beyond list building. We are also, by the time the challenge is done, we're going to have the right infrastructure in place together in our online business. You're going to have the right stuff in place. Now, in the last 30-day challenge last year, I talked about the basics. I talked about how we had to build that infrastructure. And so this year, we're really following on to that, and we're really going to build the infrastructure, right? We are going to do it. We are going to put our hard hat on. We're going to roll up our sleeves, and we're going to build the infrastructure right in front of you. Now, once again, I'm not going to be able to get a lot into product creation. Again, if you want to get into product creation, you need to join me on Thursday nights, right? Because I understand that that's the meat and potatoes. But even 30 days, even if I spent 60 days with you, I couldn't do what I could do on Thursday nights. So just so you'll know. Okay, so now day one. Now, what we're going to start tonight is probably how many of you have found that one of the hard things in getting started has been deciding on what your niche is, right? How many of you all have found that to be just a little difficult, right? If you have, just say, put the letter Y in the question box. If you have found that to be one of the things that has kept you from getting started, one of the things that has kind of kept you from kind of moving forward as an internet marketer. Because what we're going to do is we're going to kind of think through that process tonight. And I'm going to actually suggest that you do a couple of things that will help you to understand what it is you need to pick and what it is you need to decide on. Now, I want to talk a little bit about picking a topic, a niche, or a sub-niche. And even if you have a topic, a niche, or a sub-niche, I'm going to suggest you narrow it down. We'll get to that. Okay, what you and I have to do is whatever our niche is, right, tonight, what we have to do is try to make the connection between what we do well in that niche and what somebody already wants. So, so I want to get right there with you, right? So just so you'll know, this is not going to be, just some kind of basic sort of, newbie kind of challenge, right? We're going to get right here. This is really where you got to get. Right now, this is kind of the statement I just made is a little advanced, but you have to get there, and I have to get there. We have to make the connection to what we do well with what somebody already wants, right? And that is not necessarily an easy thing to do, but what we have to do is we have to figure out what we have the capacity to deliver, and if we don't have the capacity to deliver, we have to go and get it. Right, we have to go and get that capacity. So in other words, if you know, right, if you have insight on what kind of software is going to meet the market demand, but yet you don't have the ability to create the software, then the only thing that's in your way then is going to get the ability to create the software. You have to go get it, right? So you have to be able to figure out what it is you do well and what people already want. And so when we think about that, this is going to take you and it's going to take, it might take several tries. It might take a couple of times in putting something out there in the marketplace. We do not need to be fretting about that, right? Because the number one thing that kind of keeps people, I think, from launching and getting their stuff out there is they're afraid sometimes, well, what if I only get one sale and I put all this work into it? That's a good thing because it's information, right? And so I don't want to create my own product. Well, when you actually go through the work of creating your own product, what you have done is you have made a connection between where you think the market is and what you do well in supplying it. So it might take you a couple of times to actually get it right. And what you and I have to do is we have to quickly find an area where we can learn the problems faster than other people. Now, this is really going to be the key to your being able to profit in your niche. And I want you to understand that again. You and I have to find an area where we can learn the problems faster than other people, right? So, and this is where I've always said that if you know something more than someone else, if you've already had experience in an area, what that's going to mean then is that you know the problems in an area more than other people, and more than likely, right, you already have a niche that you can produce in. Now, you might need to find a way to deliver that niche, but basically, wherever you know the problems and you know them more and you know them more abundance and you can figure them out faster than other people, then all you've got to do is really got to figure out where you can meet that demand, right? Because if people are having problems and they're not getting them met and those problems are coming over and over and over and over and over again, right? You and I, if you know those problems in that niche more than I do, then that's your niche, right? And so we have to try to find a place or an area of information where we have a competitive advantage, and that is the one, right? The one area that we have a competitive advantage is the one where we know the problems. We can learn the problems faster than other people, right? I have one of those. You probably have one of those too. It might be in your local area. It might be in something you know. It might be in something you do. It might be in an area like CPA marketing. It might be an area like PLR creation. It might be in an area like writing and editing. It might be in creating Kindle. It really does not matter. Wherever it is that you have a competitive advantage because you know the problems better and faster than anybody else, you need to consider how you can make money inside of a niche where you already compete, right, at a higher level than I do, right? Because I can't come into your niche and compete if you know where the problems are, because you already know what people are going to be wanting. Now, what you have to understand is that the way niche creation and niche searching has been traditionally taught is that you have to go and look at places like Amazon. You have to look at what's already selling, and that's partially true. As I said, sometimes, right, there's not going to be anything in the market that's going to be like what you need to sell, right? So it's not a hard and fast rule that if things are selling or people are advertising, that there's a demand for what you're going to be able to have, right? Sometimes you are going to be able to put your product or put your book or put your plan in motion in a way that other people are not going to be able to do because you see the need in it, right? And as I said, sometimes the Amazon rule is just not going to be true. You're not going to always be able to look at the books that are being read to find out that are being interest. Sometimes you are in a niche, and other times you are not. Again, I know that's being taught, but there are going to be times when you find that you you know of problems in a sub niche that you are going to be able to supply them. And then you are going to be the one, again, that you're going to be finding the people that really need and want what you have to offer. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about the business online or the make money online niche. There will always be enough room for all of us, right? Everybody who's on this call, there's always going to be enough room inside of the make money online niche or the internet marketing niche, right? Or the business opportunity niche. It'll always be huge, right? But I want you to know that there are lots of niches outside of it, lots of them. So don't feel confined. Well, I got to learn how to do CPA marketing. That's the only way you're going to be able to make money online. No, it is not. I have to learn how to do blogging because that's the only way I'm going to make money online. No, it is not the only way you're going to make money online. There are so many other places where people want solutions and want information that you don't have to stay inside of this niche. But again, I mean, it's always going to be huge. There's always going to be opportunity, but you don't have to stay there. Right now. Now, let's say, now what can we do inside of a niche? And again, you already know this. We can sell information, right? We can sell an information product. We can sell books, or we can sell an on-demand information product on JVZoo, ClickBank, Udemy, right? We can sell information to people, right? This is the kind of stuff we can do inside of a niche. We can sell coaching, right? So we can help people to do better inside of what it is they're doing. You can be inside of the parenting niche, and you can help people to be better parents. You can be inside of the physical, physical fitness, right? You can help people to be healthier. You can sell coaching. You can sell your services, right? So in other words, you're actually going to go and do it for them. You can sell that to people inside of a niche. You can generate and sell leads. Now, this is really huge, because most business and business owners don't necessarily do a good job of being able to generate and sell leads. Now, we're going to be talking about that in this course, but anytime you want to go, you can go into any niche and generate and sell leads, anyone, right? And people will happily buy them from you, especially if you've qualified them and they are highly targeted. So again, this is something that falls in one of those weird areas of internet marketing that if you know how to do it, or you can learn how to do it, or you can generate them, people will be willing to pay you, and typically, depending on what the niche is, pay you a lot, right? I think what is they say that for the term mesothelioma lawyer, I think it's something like $30 or $40 an AdWords click. Right? Why would a lawyer pay for pay $50 or $60 a click? That's because if they get one lead, it could lead to millions of dollars. So they don't mind paying for the lead. So again, you can generate and sell leads from inside of a niche. You can sell events, right? If you know how to put on events, you can sell software. This is huge now inside the internet marketing niche, right? People who know how to find solutions. You can sell physical products. You can, so regardless of what you decide to sell, the question is going to be, where do you have the advantage, right? What do you have? What can you bring to the table faster, because you can recognize a market opportunity fastest, right? Where do you recognize where there's a need fast? And look, the truth of the matter is this. Even if you say, well, I don't see market needs in internet marketing, I see them in terms of inventing things. These days, right, if you have a blueprint and a plan, you can go and get crowdfunding. Right? Now, I'm not saying that's an easy process. What I am saying is there really are no limitations. If you can recognize a market opportunity, there's money or there's opportunity to be had. Right? So where do you have the advantage in recognizing market opportunities? Where do you have the advantage? Right? Not that I'm saying that your desire is not enough. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying your passion is not enough. I'm asking you, where do you have the advantage in knowing what the market opportunity is? What do you see? You know, sometimes every entrepreneur, I don't care how good or bad he is or off the wall they are, you walk, sometimes you'll be walking by a situation and you see stuff other people do not see. You recognize things, and sometimes it's based on your experience doing something. Sometimes it's just based on your intuition. But there is a place where you recognize a market opportunity. And so wherever that place is, you and I have to lean on that. And then as we begin to move forward during this challenge. Now, if you know what that advantage, what do you do well? Right? What can you do to meet that market need? What can you do well? Do you put together products well? Do you write well? Can you invent things? Can you create events? Can you generate leads? What can you do well? What do you do well? Right? It may not be on the list of internet marketing, but what do you do well? Can you sell a service? Right now, you know, I'm not big on selling services anymore, but I'll tell you what, there's some people who do fantastic at selling services, right? And if that's you, right? If that's you, you know the market opportunity, and you have an awesome service, then listen. What you got to do is to just kind of drive that to find your 1,000 true fans, not give up on it, but really hone it down so that you find those 20% of the clients, right? That really bring that money into you month after month, right? So what do you do well? So I want to talk about a little bit about narrowing down the niche now. So if you have a niche, this is an old saying, right? They say the riches are in the niches, right? And they truly are. And it's not because internet marketing is not huge or subjects not huge. It's just that the more you narrow down, what happens is people start to find you, right? People start to get word of mouth about you. Somebody says, well, who does, who creates, WordPress landing pages? I don't know, whatever it is, right? And so you've already narrowed down where you get landing pages to WordPress landing pages. And then somebody else might say, well, who actually has and it's easy to use? Well, then that narrows it down some more. So the point is, you want to narrow down your niche. And let's think about this in terms of small businesses, right? So you might say, well, I want to be a small business consultant. The most really successful consultants might settle down and they focus on a region, right? They focus on a place. Really successful consultants, sometimes they focus on a particular trade or profession, right? They become the expert in doing business with them. And so my point to you is that if you're going to be a small business consultant, one of the best ways to do that is to focus on a niche. People who get into the weight loss niche, some people focus on paleo, right? Providing information to paleo. Some people provide it for Atkins. The point is, you want to find the area, right, where there's a need. Some people who focus on personal development. Some people will focus on, well, I want to help people to get more confident, right? Some people say, I want to just focus on men. Now, I want to tell you something. How many of you all have ever heard of Eben Pagan? Right, Eben Pagan. Eben Pagan's a brilliant marketer. And the reason I say this under personal development is that he picked up on the fact that lots of dudes were unconfident in the way they approach women. And so he became this guru in the pickup artist area, right? Was he the first to ever show people how to be a pickup artist? No, but he became the subject matter expert, right? He became the expert. Right? And so he narrowed down from personal development to narrowing it down to men looking for a date. That's where you want to be with your niche, right? You want to be all the way down to that detail so that when you start talking to people, you will start to resonate with real people, right? Narrow down the niche. Now, let's talk a little bit about internet marketer niches for a second. I realize, that internet marketer niches are a little difficult sometimes to narrow down, but they'll narrow down too. Can you narrow down what you're trying to do online? Right? Can you narrow it down? Some people on this call, you're probably a CPA marketer. Can you narrow that down to becoming an expert on biz op offers? Here's why I say this. When you start to focus on doing CPA marketing. Just with BizOp offers, what happens is you start to track your results. You start to figure out what offers work and which offers don't. You start to figure out which networks have the best BizOp offers, which networks don't. Again, narrowing down as a CPA marketer. You could focus just on surveys. And again, the same is true. You're just going to get more synergy by figuring out what it is that's going on in a particular sub niche. PLR creators. Some people do business PLR. Some people do small business PLR. Some people do written PLR. The basis is, can you narrow it down? Can you focus? Software creators. You know, some people only focus on video marketing software. Right? And again, now you might say, well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell. It does not necessarily mean that, but what it does mean is that they know what people are looking for, and so they continually look for ideas in an area where they're already beginning to be an expertise, where they're already generating some generating expertise. Okay? Some people do software creation for lead generation, right? And again, the same thing is going to be true. Can you narrow down the kinds of software people are wanting for lead generation? So what we want to do tonight, and what I want you to do, and want you to consider doing, whether or not you call it homework or not, is decide on your marketing sub-niche. And even if you think, well, you know what, I don't really know what I want to do, the fastest way for you to get to your truest niche, the one that's really going to work for you, is to pick one and work through a process with it. Right? You got to get to the end. You might get to a product. It might not sell all that great. You might say, you know what, I'm not really all that interested in it. But going through the exercise will help you to move forward. Right now. So the question is going to be, when you pick your sub niche, is there room for you to sell something? Is there room in that niche for you to sell something? Right? Do they buy stuff? Do they buy information? Is there room for you to sell something? Are there people to partner with? As far as you can tell, right? Even if you're new to the niche, even if you're new to the market, are there people who are already selling information products, who already have a list? Can you get on some of their lists? If there are people to partner with, right, already in the niche, you have a way to get into it. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to go stalking these people online. What it does mean is that there will be a time at which you will find the right time to partner with it. So look for niches where there are people that you could potentially partner with, even if you have no way to partner with them at this point. Are there people who are already there? Is there enough income in the market to sustain the model? Now let's review what the model is. Do you see enough market? So in other words, if the income you have to produce is going to be, well, you know, you got to sell, you're going to sell $3 or $4 thing, and you're going to sell it once a month. Well, that's not going to support the model, right? You remember, the model is for you to be able to make $9 monthly from a guy or from a gal, right? And $100 annually, and 1,000 true fans. 900, 1,000, right? That's the model. 900, 1,000. So $9 monthly, which equals $100 annually, is 1,000 true fans. If you get 1,000 true fans, where you actually find those people who will spend that money with you, what you're going to have is a base that you can work with to begin to invest in your internet marketing business. Right? So the question is going to be, as you look at the niche you're going to pick, is there enough income in that market to sustain this model? Right? Because when people get tied into you, right? When they get tied into you, what you want to make sure is that they're going to have enough money. They're going to have enough to buy from you, so that when you sell them something, you don't have to wait, right? Or try to get in a bunch of people. They will sustain the model for you. That's what you want. And is there a place or a venue where you can test the market? Can you test the market? Right? So in the Make Money Online niche, this is really easy, right? You test your stuff on JVZoo and Warrior Plus and ClickBank. Right? There's a place, or Zaxxer, wherever the case is. There is a place or a venue for you to test the market. Now, if you are selling something different, it might need to find some other place, right? But what you have to do is find the place or the venue for you to test market your idea. Right? And then finally, you know, is there a series of pressing problems for you to solve? If there are a series of pressing problems for you to solve, that's a good niche to be in. Right? Even if nobody has come up with solutions, that's a great thing, actually. right? Because you're going to be able to come up with the solutions for the niche, right? So you and I have to decide on markets and sub-niches, right? We have to decide if there's room for us to sell something. Are there people for us to partner with? Is there enough money to sustain the model in the niche? Are there places or venues where we could test the market, right? Now, are there a series of pressing problems for us to solve? Okay, so now if you have not done so, go on over to the plrshow.com. If you are getting our mailings, make sure that you are. You can do that over there at the plrshow.com. Just put your name and email address in the box. If you want to check out the other stuff I've done on the 30-day challenge, the warm-up calls, you can do that at youtube.com/gain mindshare. And of course, our most recent product is the PLRshow.com, the PLR Playbook. If you haven't picked up the PLR Playbook, you need to get that product because that's really going to show you how to deal with PLR. Right? I'm going to be talking about that, but you need that product if you have some questions about how to deal with PLR. I think I've answered how you can approach PLR, regardless of whether or not you've had it or whether or not you just got it. It's a fantastic product. And again, just so that you'll know, one of the only ways I can really get into the product creation process is a Thursday night group. And I do have a group, and we meet together on Thursday nights, and we get into the product creation process. But on top of that, though, they always get kind of first dibs on my products, and I think they get at least one a month, and I might be upping that in the near future. So gainmindshare.com/coaching. Okay, everybody, so this has been it for tonight. I appreciate your attentiveness, and then we will pick it up another night. So thank you once again. Have a great night, everybody, and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.